I'm Rick Henken. Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today. I have the privilege as serving as of a couple of weeks ago as the chairman of Hebrew Senior Life's Board of Directors, which is a great honor and a privilege. Thank you. Thank you. And it is so great to be out here with all of you today. What a beautiful bunch of residents. In fact, I've been around to lots of our facilities, and you guys are absolutely the most beautiful group of residents that I've seen. But do me a favor. Do me a favor. Do not tell the others. So, again, thank you all for coming out today for this really great celebration of a really important initiative that the folks at HSL, working in combination with so many others, have been able to accomplish. And you're going to hear a little bit more about that. But I do want to, can't hear me? Oh, much better. Okay. I do want to thank some of our guests who are here with us today. In addition to you wonderful residents, we have a number of Hebrew Senior Life trustees and some of Hebrew Senior Life spectacular staff who are around. We're also joined by several people who've been instrumental in getting us to this day and who frankly have been wonderful supporters of Hebrew Senior Life and our mission. So let me make some introductions. First, Congressman Katherine Clark, a Democratic whip, who is a friend to so many and has always been a champion of affordable housing and of elder causes, and we're all just so very grateful. So thank you, and thank you for coming. Regional HUD, New England Regional HUD Administrator, Juana Matias, and Department of Housing and Urban Development staff who are over at that table. Thank you all for all that you do. And none of this could have happened without the amazing, innovative spirit at HUD and all of the hard work that they do to support the facilities and the residents, so thank you. Representative Jeffrey Turco. Thank you. Representative Jessica Giannino. Mayor Patrick Keefe. Executive Office of Elder Affairs Acting Secretary Robin Lipson. And Regional Director for Senator Ed Markey, Mark Lanigan. Thank you. Also, we're representing here today are some of our partners at the Mystic Valley Legal Services, who I think I saw some folks around. Thank you. Thank you. And then a few other folks that I just want to make sure I introduce. On the City Council, Robert J. Haas. Thank you. Ira Novosleski. Did I pronounce that right? Novosleski. Novoselsky. Just the way it sounds. And Paul Argenzio. See here? Oh, no. And I think Angela Guarino Sawaya. And I am sorry for any messed up pronunciations. Yes, I am. Funny you should mention that, because the name of my company is Shochet, which is shachet, which is butcher in Hebrew. So it's perfect. All right, so again, thank you all for being with us today. We're so grateful that you took the time out of your busy days to join us for this important occasion. For those who don't know us well, Hebrew Senior Life is New England's largest nonprofit provider of senior health care in independent and assisted living communities. We currently have 7 campuses around Greater Boston. We serve 4,500 people per day and have over 2,400 dedicated staff members. And a special shout out to the staff members, some of whom are here today, the best in the business. And we are growing with new affordable housing projects in our pipeline and expansion of our service offerings to touch more and more seniors as we work every day to redefine aging. In addition to our hands-on elder care, as an affiliate of Harvard Medical School and home to the nationally recognized Hinda and Arthur Marcus Institute for Aging Research, we are at the forefront of research on aging. While I'm proud to see Hebrew Senior Life grow its affordable housing portfolio, I'm equally proud that we stay true to our mission of delivering first-class, service-enriched housing to all of our seniors. Toward that end, we constantly seek opportunities to invest in our existing communities. And this grant, which will be coupled with a significant investment by Hebrew Senior Life, is a great example of an initiative that will benefit our residents at Jack Satter House for years to come. So I'm now really pleased to introduce 2 of our Hebrew Senior Life leaders, Kim Brooks and Steve Post. Kim serves as the Executive Vice President for Senior Living, and you all know Steve, who needs no introduction, who's been the glue here for a very, very long time, who's the outgoing Executive Director of Jack Satter House. They've worked tirelessly to achieve this great result, and we are so grateful for their efforts. Kim and Steve.
Thank you, Rick, and congratulations on being our new board chair. And thank you all again for being here to celebrate the Green and Resilient Retrofit Program Award for the Jack Satter House. Couldn't ask for a better day here on the beach. Everybody's happy to come to Satter when it's a day like this. We are so thrilled to receive this award, and as Rick mentioned, very proud of growing our affordable supportive housing portfolio. So just want to take a minute to highlight that because it ties into the grant that we're receiving and announcing today. We have, over the last, just about the last year, finished up on a couple of major projects. We opened 45 new units of affordable housing on our Simon C. Fireman campus in Randolph. We opened 43 units of affordable housing in Dorchester's Upham's Corner, our Leland community. And we are currently under construction with 54 additional units of affordable housing and a community center at our Center of Communities of Brookline campus in Coolidge Corner. And all of those new buildings are being designed to meet Passive House standards, so energy efficient design and construction. And it just really reinforces HSL's strong commitment not only to growing our portfolio, but to mitigating the impacts of climate change. So we are trying to do our part not only with our new builds, but with renovation of our existing infrastructure. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge a couple members of our team that Rick didn't mention specifically, just to call out to them and their work in not only the expansions I mentioned, but in our commitment to the energy and the environment. One of those is Deb Morse, our Vice President of Real Estate. Deb's standing in the back here. Deb has been leading the way on all those growth projects that I mentioned, and not only what we're doing, but how we're doing it. She has been so dedicated to the how and the making sure that we are committed to energy efficiency and sustainability. And then Ricky Achillo, I'm not sure if Ricky's here today, I don't think he could make it today, but Ricky worked closely with Steve and Deb and many others on the very complicated grant application that was done to get this award. And then certainly want to thank our events team, our communications team, the Saturn staff, who make events like this always seem seamless, smooth, and easy, which they are not easy. And then it is now my pleasure to introduce Steve Post. I don't need to introduce Steve, as Rick said. Steve has been here since 2004, and after his 20 years here at HSL, he has finally decided it's time to retire, kind of, sorta. And so he's been on the farewell tour for the last month or so. But I just want to take one more chance to tell him how thankful we are for everything he's done for this organization, including being a huge proponent of energy efficiency. Steve led the first green grant that Hebrew Senior Life received 15 years ago, and with any luck, we're going to hold on to him in a part-time role to help see this one through, we hope. So it's very fitting that this is his last big Hebrew Senior Life and Jack Satter House event. So with that, Steve.
Thank you very much, Kim. Thank you so much. You know, I think you're right, Rick. I think this is the finest looking group of seniors anywhere. And the Satter House crowd never fails to disappoint. Thank you all so much for coming out today. It's great. You know, when we got the grant, you know, we said, wow, $20 million, unbelievable, unimaginable. And like Rick was saying, that'll be combined with additional investment from Hebrew Senior Life to really put this building in such a great position. So we immediately decided if we're going to get a grant that large, we're going to have to do a nice Satter House celebration and party. So again, thank you all for coming here today. You know, Jack Satter House was the first senior supportive housing facility constructed by Hebrew Senior Life back in 1978. And it was the first high-rise building located here on Revere Beach. As you can see, since then, everybody else caught on, and there's been a lot of development that's occurred here over the last 10 years in particular. We have 266 units, over 280 residents that we serve here every day. And all of our residents, in addition to living in such a beautiful facility, have access to all of our programming, services, including dining, resident service coordination, fitness classes, wellness support, and just a wide variety of programming and activities. Working with our parent company, Hebrew Senior Life, and our community partners, the City of Revere and Mystic Valley Elder Services, we really are in a position to help seniors age successfully with dignity and with respect. So today, thank you. So today, thanks to the Biden administration, our representatives in Congress, and our partners at HUD, the allocation of funds through the Green and Resilient Retrofit Program provide us with what's really a once-in-a-generation opportunity to ensure that the Jack Satter House will have at least another 40-plus years serving future generations of seniors while helping to achieve our national climate and sustainability goals. You know, and you're right, we can applaud that. Keep the Jack Satter House going strong for another 40-plus years. You know, when we looked at the grant application that HUD had put out in the regulations, one thing stood out for me, and that's that one of the major goals of the grant is to modernize the properties to improve resident quality of life, provide safer living environments by improving indoor air quality, maintaining comfortable living temperatures, and preparing buildings to keep residents safe through extreme weather events and natural disasters. So ultimately, it is all of you, our residents, who will benefit the most from this investment, and that is something that we can truly celebrate. There's one thing that I want you to know about our residents, and I think it's true of seniors across the nation. They care about our environment. They support efforts to increase sustainability, and climate resiliency. They care about the generations to come, and they want to leave the world a better place. So thanks to this grant, we will have an opportunity to play a small part in that effort. So thank you again so much, and we look forward to working with our partners at HUD to make this program a success. Thank you. As I mentioned, none of this would be possible without support from the federal government and our representatives in Congress. So I want to now introduce a longtime friend of the Jack Satterhouse, Democratic Whip Katherine Clark. Hold on, this is a long introduction. No, you don't have to sit down. Yeah. There's a lot to talk about. Since 2013, Democratic Whip Clark has represented Massachusetts' 5th District, which stretches from Revere and Winthrop through the northern Boston suburbs to towns of Metro West. In the fall of 2022, the Congresswoman was elected by her colleagues to serve as Democratic Whip, the second most senior position in the House Democratic Caucus. She previously served as Assistant Speaker of the House, as Vice Chair of the House Democratic Caucus, and as a senior member of the House Appropriations Committee. Before her election to Congress, Democratic Whip Clark served her community in elective office as a state senator, state representative, and member of the Melrose School Committee. She also served as general counsel for the Massachusetts Office of Child Care Services and as policy chief for the Massachusetts Attorney General. We're all proud to say that Congresswoman Clark lives here in Revere with her husband right in our own neighborhood. Welcome, Congresswoman Clark.
Good to see you. Thank you so much, Steve. That was a lovely introduction, and I have to say it is truly bittersweet. I am so glad that you are here. We wish you all the best in your next chapter, but we will miss you. And we thank you for all you've done for the Jack Satterhouse. And I want to thank Rick, and congratulations on his new position, and Kim and the entire team here. And how lucky am I to get to work with our mayor and this incredible city councilors, our state representative delegation, Senator Markey. It truly is a pleasure to be able to coordinate. And I just want to give another shout out to Juana Matias, who is the New England Regional Director for HUD. She does an incredible job across New England, but she's very focused on Massachusetts. And she is in Washington and is just really has all of you in mind with the work she does, her leadership, and we are so grateful. And she told me today that this is the biggest grant that she has awarded since she started at HUD. So, fantastic. And we all know how special, we already know how good looking you are, but you are special to us in many more ways. The Jack Satterhouse for decades, as Steve laid out, has been a place of community and truly a place where people can live, and even in times of prosperity and in times of hardship, even amid the trials of the pandemic, Jack Satterhouse has been that stability and support for its residents. And we all share a responsibility to carry that legacy into the next 50 years so that the future generations can enjoy this same sanctuary that so many have found here. And that means grappling with the changes ahead, a changing climate, a changing energy needs, and growing demands on our infrastructure. And today's announcement of up to $20 million for work to be done here marks a commitment to the future for this community. It's a commitment to supporting our seniors, to cleaning our air, and making sure that our homes are protected against climate change. That's what it means to invest in America. It is investing in the people of this great country and of this great community. And that's why I fight for these kind of investments in Congress with all my partners on the state and local level. And I am so grateful, from City Hall to Beacon Hill to the Senate and the White House, that we all came together around this grant, because that's how government should work. We identify a problem, and then we identify a solution, and we bring home the resources to make sure that we can get it done. It is a privilege to represent you in the House, and it is a joy to see this investment coming home for the future of Revere. Thank you for having me. Thank you for just being always such a welcoming place to come visit. And let's keep delivering for our Revere seniors. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Congresswoman Clark. And as the Congresswoman mentioned, it was really the entire Congress that joined together to provide these funds. So I'm happy to introduce, on behalf of Senator Ed Markey, who unfortunately can't be here today, but as I think all of us know, is a real friend to Revere Beach and the Jack Satter House. But we do have one of his regional assistants here who's going to say a few words. Mark Lanigan. Mark.
Thank you, Steve. Great to be here. Thank you, everyone, for having me. My name is Mark Lanigan. I'm a regional assistant with Senator Ed Markey's team. And he does, like Steve mentioned, wish he could have been here today, particularly because Revere Beach, he's told me time and time again, was just a childhood destination for him all the time. He's brought it up quite a bit. I've heard a lot about Revere Beach from Senator Markey. And so we have a statement that I'd like to read from the senator about this incredible grant announcement. He says, "Good afternoon, everybody. I'm honored to join you in celebrating the $20 million in federal funding that Hebrew Senior Life has received for green retrofits for Jack Satter House. For years, Jack Satter House has provided seniors along Revere Beach the opportunity to live and age in their community affordably and with dignity. Now they're demonstrating how senior housing can be resilient and sustainable. With these upgrades, you're protecting current and future residents from extreme temperatures and worsening storms, and ensuring a just, livable planet for all, one where future generations of Revere residents can continue to grow old in peace and comfort." And Senator Markey fought hard in Washington to secure support for green retrofits in the Inflation Reduction Act so that communities like Revere can lead the push for environmental justice. And that's why I'm proud to see the funding come back to Jack Satter House. I thank Hebrew Senior Life for this vision, Mayor Keefe for his continued advocacy for the Revere community, and the Biden administration for investing in these efforts. It's a great day for Revere. Thank you so much from the senator and from me. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much, Mark. You know, the city of Revere is fortunate to have two tremendous state representatives advocating for us in the legislature. And so we're very grateful to be joined today by Representatives Jeffrey Turco and Jessica Giannino. Thank you so much. Representative Turco was first elected in a special election in March of 2021 to represent the 19th Suffolk District, comprising all of the town of Winthrop and approximately 45% of the city of Revere. By profession, Representative Turco is an attorney with his own private law practice in the city of Chelsea. He serves on the House Committee on Post Audit and Oversight, House Committee on Steering, Policy and Scheduling, Joint Committee on Advanced Information Technology. You're busy up there, Jeff. And the Internet and Cybersecurity, and Joint Committee on Revenue. So please welcome today Representative Jeff Turco.
You forgot the most important title,
was that?
Dad.
Okay.
So I just need to point that out. So anyway, As the state representative from this area, I'm honored to be here. I love the Jack Satterhouse. You've welcomed me since redistricting the last term when Rep. Giannino took a different part of Revere and I got all of Revere Beach to represent you. I've been honored to come here and be invited here to be welcomed into your family and your community. But I have to confess that usually I get to claim some credit for some of the good news that comes out because we work with my colleague Rep. Giannino and Senator Edwards to make things happen. But I can't claim any credit for this. This is the work of Congresswoman Clark, a new Revere resident who hasn't forgotten the city of Revere since she went to Washington, D.C., who has made it a commitment to improve the quality of life for our seniors, for our kids, for our community, to make sure we have clean beaches and clean water. It's amazing the work that she does. And you think about it, and we also have Senator Markey, a graduate of my alma mater, Malden Catholic. But I just want to point out, because she's here, how important it is. Most people don't realize she's number 2 in the Democratic leadership in the United States House of Representatives. That comes with not just the awesome responsibility of being number 2, but it also comes with the responsibility to run around the country and go out and advocate for the Democratic message around the country. But yet she's here. You see her at Drift. You see her walking the beach. You see her at every. I just gave up your secret spot. I'm sorry. Never mind. You see her at McDonald's on Squire Road. Go there looking for her. But seriously, the fact that she's so committed to this city and this district, it amazes me, because I look at the small district that I have in Winthrop and Revere and the number of events I go to, and occasionally I might miss an event and I get a call saying, why weren't you there? And the fact that she's at so much, and the fact that her and Senator Markey working together helped make this grant program possible, and then that they could weigh in working with Steve and his team. It's truly an honor to be here and to have a minute to thank the Congresswoman for her leadership. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative Turco. And now Representative Jessica Giannino, who, as Jeff said, was our representative for a number of years. She was first elected to the House in 2020, representing the 16th Suffolk District, comprising parts of Saugus and Revere. Jessica, as many of you recall, began her political career as a city councilor at large for the city of Revere in 2012. And in 2016 and 2018, Jessica had the honor of serving as City Council President. And as she also serves in the legislature, she serves as Vice Chair for the Joint Committee on Children, Families, and Persons with Disabilities, and as a member of the Joint Committee on Economic Development and Emerging Technologies, Joint Committee on Election Laws, and Joint Committee on Environment and Natural Resources. Thank you very much for coming today. I'd like to welcome Representative Giannino.
Thank you so much, Steve. It is always such a pleasure to come back here and be with my friends at the Jack Satterhouse. As Steve mentioned, I had the pleasure of representing this special place for 10 years as a city councilor and 2 years as your state representative. And it was really hard when redistricting happened, because it was hard. Change is difficult, right? But I knew that when our maps changed, that the Jack Satterhouse was in really, really, really good hands with my counterpart and my partner in Representative Turco. And I think everyone in this room has seen that in the last few years and everything that he's done for the Jack Satterhouse. So thank you, Jeff, for taking them and keeping them in such great care. I'm so excited to be here with you today as we celebrate this great grant and the amazing work of Wood Clark. And as my counterpart mentioned, Rep. Clark never forgets where she came from. And she knows how important the Jack Satterhouse is to the city of Revere and how important the community in this building is, right? And as Steve mentioned, the fact that this is one of the first apartments down the beach and its infrastructure from the 1970s, it's so important that our residents have everything they need to make sure that your quality of life is as best it can be, and to make sure that we're keeping up with everything to the best of green climate and green energy, right? So serving on the Committee on Natural Resources and looking out at America's first public beach, you can see climate change firsthand, right? You can see the erosion on our beach, you can see what's happening every single day. So it's so important that we make these investments in our aging buildings and in our infrastructure so that we can make sure that we're looking at our emissions and we're making these investments long-term. And that's exactly what funding like this does. And it's such an honor for me to be here today as a woman in the House of Representatives with two amazing women that are making changes in Washington, D.C., like Whip Clark and like Juana Matias, because something that I can say that I'm incredibly proud of is they started in the Massachusetts House, and they're both alumni in the Massachusetts House. So for me to stand here today as the House member from Revere with two rock stars that are in Washington, D.C., advocating for Massachusetts, New England, but Massachusetts, it's incredible because I see the work that you're both doing, and I see what you're doing for housing, and I know what you're doing for Revere, for the whole district, but for Revere. And it's incredible, and we're so, so lucky to have both of you. I admire you both incredibly, but thank you for what you do for our residents, thank you for what you do for our community, and thank you for always bringing the money home. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're rolling on here. Another one of our good friends, and I think he's been here about 3 times in the last week. We've been having a lot of parties, right? We've been having a lot of fun. But he doesn't need an introduction to many in this room. Our mayor, Patrick Keefe. Mayor Keefe. Mayor Keefe is a lifelong Massachusetts resident who grew up in Everett, and he's lived in Revere for over 2 decades. Over his 25-year career, Mayor Keefe worked in some of Boston's finest hotels, and most recently, Legal Seafoods as its culinary director. After moving to Revere, Mayor Keefe was very active in the youth sports programming, serving as president of the Revere Pop Warner and director of youth baseball before he entered into politics. In 2015, he became the Ward 4 city councilor and served 2 terms as city council vice president before serving as interim mayor and then being elected as mayor last year. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Patrick Keefe.
Steve, thank you, and congratulations again on your semi-retirement. I know that you're not going far, and we won't let you go very far because you do too good of a job. Thank you. Congratulations. So, without sounding redundant, I'm going to bring up a few topics that maybe weren't brought up, but we have to stress again. Today is a great day for the city of Revere, but it's an unbelievable day for the residents of the Jack Satter House and Hebrew Senior Living. We talked last week about advocacy, and the seniors here know a lot about that. You've advocated for your rights. You've advocated for when the bus line was looking to change a year ago. We heard you knocking, and we heard you calling. And Representative Turco, Rep. Giannino, and your ward councilors, we fought with you and made sure that the bus line didn't change. You know all about advocacy in the city of Revere, and it's even better to have unbelievable advocates like Whip Clark and like Senator Markey to be able to advocate for you. It really goes hand in hand. So we know how important it is for you to have someone in D.C. fighting for you, and I thank you very much, Whip Clark, for taking care of business in the city of Revere. Like you, I fell in love with this community when I moved to it 21 years ago. You moved here just a few years ago. But you knew the gem that was Revere, and we welcome you and your family here, and we know that you're settling down really well. But the Jack Satter residents have lived here, and even though they're celebrating their the senior moments in their lives, they are still fighting for climate justice in the community. They're still fighting for sustainability. They're still fighting for energy efficiencies. And we couldn't thank HUD and your team for recognizing that and rewarding this senior Hebrew life in the Jack Satter House with a grant of up to $20 million to make sure that the residents of Jack Satter and the residents of Revere are represented well, and they have clean energy coming in, they have good sustainability, they have the programs in place, they have the nice windows, they have good heating equipment, so that myself and my colleagues over here in the City Council can get on the wait list and get on the Jack Satter House when we're ready. And we know the building's going to be in great shape because we love it here. So thank you so much for being in Revere, and we really, truly are honored that you selected a place in Revere to invest such an unbelievable grant, and we couldn't be more grateful. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, so as a number of speakers have mentioned, It really is the innovation at HUD and HUD's leadership that brings us here today. So I'm very pleased to welcome the Department of Housing and Urban Development's Regional Administrator, Juana Matias, who's here with us today. As Regional Administrator, Juana oversees Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Maine, and Vermont. Prior to her appointment at HUD, she served as Chief Operating Officer for Mass Inc., a nonprofit, nonpartisan public policy and action think tank and civic news organization. And as Rep. Giannino mentioned previously, Matias served as the state representative for the 16th Essex District, becoming the first Latina immigrant elected to the Massachusetts House of Representatives. We're so pleased you could join us today, and we're so grateful to you and your colleagues at HUD for your partnership in this work. Welcome.
Good afternoon. I am very, very positive we could do so much better than that. We have a room full of beautiful people on a very sunny day, and we're here to celebrate $20 million. Good afternoon. There we go. Thank you, Steve, for the kind and warm introduction. It's truly a pleasure to be here at Jack Satter House today and in front of America's first public beach. For those of you who don't know, that is a fact. Congresswoman Clark, thank you immensely for your unwavering leadership and advocacy, for your crucial HUD programs, particularly innovative initiatives like the Green Retrofit Resilient Retrofit Program. Your servant leadership makes a real difference every day in the lives of people, and we are beyond lucky to have you in DC. Mayor Keefe, Representatives Turco and Giannino, city councilors from the city of Revere, your presence here underscores the vital collaboration between federal, state, and local governments in serving communities. Together, we achieve so much more than our individual parts. My sincere thanks to Steve and Rick and the entire team at Hebrew Senior Life for the outstanding care you provide our residents of Jack Satter House and for all you've done to make today possible. To Kinsey Osborne of HUD's multifamily team, thank you for your ongoing support and assistance to this property. And most importantly, a heartfelt thank you to all of you, the residents of Jack Satter House, for welcoming us into your home today. This exciting announcement is about you today. As we all know, the housing market faces a critical crunch, with rising rents and home prices squeezing out our most vulnerable residents. This reality underscores the need for creative solutions, both building more and preserving our existing housing stock. That's why I'm thrilled to announce that HUD has awarded a well-deserved $20 million GRP grant to Jack Satter House. This tremendous investment will preserve this critical housing and improve the lives of residents. This grant will empower you to undertake projects that reduce your carbon footprint, lower utility bills, enhance the building's air quality, and ultimately make Jack Satter House even more resilient in the face of extreme weather events. The GRP is a cornerstone of President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. Through this program, Congress allocated nearly $800 million in grant funding and up to $4 billion in loan commitments. This commitment demonstrates a clear understanding of the importance of improving our nation's assisted housing stock. To date, HUD has distributed over $544 million across the country, approximately supporting 12,600 units, including 30 million here in the state of Massachusetts. These improvements translate to a healthier, safer, and more energy-efficient living environment for countless residents across this country. The GRP program itself is a three-pronged attack to the climate crisis by reducing energy and water consumption in HUD-assisted properties, strengthening these properties to withstand extreme weather and natural disasters, and lowering carbon emissions by promoting renewable energy generation. And this is on top of the fact that a lot of people do not realize this, But HUD pays the rent in this building. We provide the rental subsidies for our residents, 266 units in this building. These investments, like the GRP, showcase President Biden and HUD's unwavering commitment to a more sustainable and efficient housing future. Our goal is to ensure high-quality living spaces for all members of our communities. This is a victory for Jack Sutter House, for Massachusetts, and for our nation as a whole. I am honored to celebrate this momentous occasion with you all today and look forward to our continued collaboration. Thank you for having me. If we can have all the elected officials join us for a picture with a check.